Okay, let's dive right into this explainer of Dr. Sanjay Gupta's incredible book, Keep Sharp. This is going to be such an inspiring journey because it'll completely revolutionize how you view your mind, your age, and your long-term mental longevity. If you've ever found yourself worrying about your brain slowing down as the years tick by, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a deep dive into some truly cutting-edge neuroscience that proves you hold an immense amount of power over your brain's health.
I mean, think about these little moments. We've literally all been there, right? You misplace your car keys, you walk into a room only to stand there wondering why on earth you went in there, or you totally blank on a familiar person's name. It's so easy to just shrug and assume these are the inevitable first signs of cognitive decline. Honestly, many of us were taught that as our bodies age, our brains just automatically deteriorate alongside them. But what if that whole assumption is completely backwards? What if your brain actually has the biological capability to stay sharp, vibrant, and resilient at literally any age? Well, the latest science says it absolutely does.
So here's our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll start with number 1, the aging brain myth. 2, the science of brain growth. 3, the 5 essential pillars. And finally, 4, building daily brain habits. Let's just jump right in.
Section 1, the aging brain myth. We've got to start right here because we need to dismantle the single most pervasive, paralyzing myth out there about cognitive aging. For generations, the conventional wisdom held this super bleak, ticking clock kind of view. The idea was that humans were born with a fixed number of brain cells and they just inevitably died off over time with zero possibility of replacement, basically a one-way street. But modern neuroscience has completely shattered that old paradigm. We know now that your brain is constantly adapting, growing, and actually creating new cells. And another incredibly dangerous myth we need to bust is that dementia or Alzheimer's is just a purely genetic sentence. Obviously, genetics play a role, sure, but this modern shift in science proves that your lifestyle choices account for a massive portion of your overall risk. Changing how you move, eat, sleep, and engage your mind, that's actually your greatest weapon, completely regardless of your family history.
Section 2, the science of brain growth. Let's look at the actual biological reality that makes all of this empowerment possible.
So the really crucial takeaway here is that your brain is not static. It's a highly dynamic organ that physically rewires itself based on how you use it. This is what we call neuroplasticity. Every single time you learn something new or adapt to a fresh challenge, your brain is actively reorganizing itself and building these new, robust connections. And here's the best part. This capability doesn't just vanish when you hit 50 or 60 or 70. It persists throughout your entire life. And that brilliantly illustrates the next massive leap in modern science, neurogenesis. This is the mind-blowing reality that cognitive growth literally does not stop when you get older. Your brain can actually create brand new neurons even when you are in your 80s or 90s. There's no way you have to passively accept memory loss as your destiny. This biological superpower leads us directly to the lifestyle choices that actually trigger all this incredible growth. Which brings us to Section 3, the 5 essential pillars. Look, building a better brain doesn't require expensive miracle pills or bizarre, complicated daily rituals. It just requires mastering a really synergistic playbook of 5 lifestyle pillars. Here's the absolute core of our explainer today. Move, Discover, Relax, Nourish, and Connect. Each one of these pillars targets a highly specific biological mechanism in your body and mind. And why does this matter? Well, when you align these 5 pillars in your daily routine, you create the absolute optimal environment for your brain to thrive. You flush out metabolic toxins, you reduce damaging inflammation, and you stimulate that continuous neurogrowth we just talked about. So let's break down exactly how each one works.
Pillar 1 is move. Listen, if there were a magic bullet for cognitive preservation, physical movement would absolutely be it. Whenever you engage in physical activity, your heart pumps this amazing oxygen-rich blood directly up to your brain. This supplies the energy you need for complex thinking and memory consolidation. But even more amazingly, movement releases a powerful protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF for short. I absolutely love this analogy from the source material. It says BDNF acts exactly like fertilizer for your neurons. It preserves the brain cells you already have and encourages brand new neural pathways to bloom. And the good news? You don't need to train like an Olympic athlete to get this fertilizer flowing. Regular, moderate activities, think brisk walking, swimming, gardening, or even dancing, make a world of difference. The key is simply minimizing the amount of time you spend sitting. Getting up and moving around every hour keeps that cognitive engine primed. Moving on to the second pillar, discover. You know, your brain really loves a challenge. Just as lifting weights builds your physical muscles, tackling novel and complex problems builds dense neural networks. Neuroscientists call this your cognitive reserve. You can kind of think of it as a mental backup generator. The more interconnected your network of neural pathways is, the better your brain can improvise and work around the natural age-related wear and tear over time.
But here's the catch with this one. You actually have to step outside your comfort zone. Passing the time with familiar passive puzzles, like doing simple crosswords that you already know exactly how to solve, that's not going to cut it. To genuinely build that reserve, the activities have to be novel and demanding. We're talking about learning to play a new musical instrument, picking up a foreign language, studying a complex subject, or maybe taking up an intricate hand-eye coordination hobby like painting or woodworking. You absolutely must give the brain a genuine challenge.
Let's transition to the third pillar, relax. We really need to look at how our fast-paced modern world is just quietly working against our neural health. Chronic stress has become this silent epidemic, and it is actively wreaking havoc on our brain's structure and overall function.
This contrast here is so vital to understand. When you experience stress, your body pumps out cortisol. Now, in short little bursts, cortisol is actually great. It helps you respond to immediate threats and keeps you alive in a sudden emergency. But when it's elevated over weeks, months, or even years, that long-term cortisol literally acts like acid on your brain cells. It specifically targets and shrinks the hippocampus, which is the primary memory center of your brain. So chronic stress is literally accelerating cognitive aging and impairing your ability to form memories.
So how exactly do we combat this acid-like stress? The answer is deep, restorative sleep. Sleep is not just some passive shutdown mode, it's a highly active biological reset. Think about this mechanism, the glymphatic system. During deep sleep, this specialized cleansing mechanism acts as a literal biological washing machine. It washes away the metabolic waste products that build up during the day, including the specific harmful proteins that are directly linked to Alzheimer's disease. This is exactly why aiming for 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, along with some daily mindfulness or deep breathing, is absolutely non-negotiable if you want a healthy brain. All right, pillar 4 is nourish. What you put on your plate every day directly dictates the physical health of your brain cells, your blood vessels, and your neurotransmitters. We have to start treating food as both fuel and medicine to combat systemic inflammation and oxidative stress. Practically, this means prioritizing nutrient-dense whole foods. We're talking big leafy green vegetables, bright, colorful berries, healthy fats like extra virgin olive oil, and avocados, nuts, seeds, and the omega-3 fatty acids you get from wild-caught fish.
Consider this incredible fact for a second. Your brain is an absolute energy hog. Even though it's just one single organ, it's consuming roughly 20% of your body's total daily calories. It is a massive, highly demanding, energy-intensive machine.
And those numbers brilliantly illustrate exactly why food quality matters so much. That massive 20% energy demand we just talked about, it's coming from an organ that makes up only 2% of your total physical body weight. Crazy, right? So when you eat highly processed foods, refined sugars, and excessive simple carbs, you cause high blood sugar and insulin resistance. That actually damages the super delicate micro blood vessels that supply this highly demanding organ, which dramatically increases your risk of vascular dementia. So you've got to feed it right. Finally, we reach pillar 5, connect. Humans are inherently social creatures. Our survival as a species was built entirely on community. We evolved to thrive in shared spaces. Prioritizing quality relationships, having real conversations, sharing a good laugh, actually stimulates complex neural networks and triggers the release of amazing mood-boosting neurochemicals. On the flip side, chronic loneliness and social isolation carry severe health risks, significantly increasing the likelihood of cognitive decline and even premature mortality compared to those who stay socially connected. So get out there, volunteer, join a local club, or just have regular, genuine heart-to-hearts with your loved ones.
Section 4. Building daily brain habits. Understanding this incredible science of neuroplasticity and these 5 pillars is deeply empowering, right? But true transformation only happens when we take all of this and execute a practical daily game plan. Let's talk about how to actually build these habits for life.
Building a better brain is a lifelong journey. It's not some quick-fix weekend project. Do not try to overhaul your entire life overnight. It just doesn't work. Step 1 is to just secure small, totally achievable wins across the pillars. Maybe just walk for 20 minutes every morning. Step 2, make some simple dietary swaps, like trading in that bag of processed chips for a handful of walnuts and some berries. And step 3 is letting consistency do the heavy lifting. Dedicate just a little time to read a challenging book, practice a quick 5-minute evening relaxation routine, and intentionally schedule time with friends. Small, consistent actions are what create profound long-term neural growth.
Your brain possesses an astonishing capacity to heal, adapt, and upgrade at literally any age. By honoring your biology and making intentional lifestyle choices every single day, you can protect your memory and sharpen your intellect for the long haul. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to kickstart your journey toward a vibrant, limitless mind today. What single, small change will you make right now to start fertilizing your neural pathways? Think about it. Pick just one pillar and take that first step today.